As I have gotten older, I have decided we really need camps for adults.
Exposed by federal agents, suicide letter. The letter states that American citizens will be rounded up without warrants and without trial, for God knows how long. It states that these camps were designed to carry out Hitler-scale killings, a purge of American citizens, the very government that they themselves created and paid for. ICE agent suicide note states, after bank collapse and economic failure, there will be a nationwide blackout that will start FEMA camp raids and roundups, while all forms of communication is down. The letter also states, if the American people knew what this government is planning, would rise up and overthrow it. If I or anyone else in the federal government revealed what was coming, we would be killed anyways. So now I will reveal what I know. We in federal law enforcement have been drilling for several years to control riots and uprising from a coming financial collapse and widespread bank failure. The drills involve life-size images of American men and even women and children, who we are told to shoot for practice and to get used to it. We're told that the economy is terminally ill and we will fail in 2016. We are also told the banks are insolvent and the FDIC does not have enough money to bail out the depositor. We are told that these events are unavoidable, and it is imperative that the U.S. government survives. When people rise up over this, when the collapse takes place, detention camps created under Rex 84, program created in the 1980s to house illegal aliens who were going to deport, will instead be used to imprison American citizens, whom the government feels is a threat. FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security are preparing at a secret underground bunker. Max Salvo from IntelliHub, reporting while a growing number of individuals is sent out to prepare for a collapse of society, and known dismissively as preppers, the real preppers are in the highest levels of government, and they are ready to evacuate and continue the government, even in the event of an all-out breakdown of society. They also state that not only is the secret continuity of government actually happening, but it is accelerating rapidly. Quote, they, the government, are absolutely getting ready for something on a grand scale. They state they've invested billions and billions of dollars into secret agencies for national security to create a secret infrastructure for survival. They state that the elite are increasingly investing in prepping contingencies at both a personal as well as an institutional level.
FEMA is readying the troops. When the elite call their selected agents together, it's time to pay attention. Just recently, the Preparedness Agency of the United States government, also known as FEMA, potentially activated their, quote, civilian corps. The only question is, though, for what? What are they doing?
The end of the Republic has never looked better.
Last March, DHS bought 450 million bullets, and in September, another 200 million. That's in addition to a reported 1.6 billion rounds they already have. So during the height of the Iraq War, U.S. soldiers used about 5.5 million rounds of ammunition every month. If you do the math here, that means the Department of Homeland Security has enough bullets to wage a full-scale war for the next 30 years. DHS says the bullets are needed for training, but military veteran Richard Mason is doubtful.
We never trained with hollow points. We didn't even really see hollow points my entire 4.5 years in the Marine Corps. Why would they need all those hollow points?
This is our government buying up bullets to use against us.
You know, you have true weapons of war here that are being purchased.
Here are the facts. The Federal Emergency Management Agency was created in 1976 and charged with handling domestic emergencies. When most people think of FEMA, they think of hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, and floods. Since its inception, FEMA has consistently saved American lives. Like the Boy Scouts, FEMA aims to be prepared. They provide logistical support, food, clothing, and other services in emergency situations. The agency has also built housing facilities in locations across the world. To the mainstream media, this is just another step in preparing for catastrophes. But to others, it's something much worse. Here's where it gets crazy. According to broadcaster Alex Jones, FEMA is a front for a secret government, and the housing locations will actually serve as quarantine centers or internment camps. This is not an unfounded fear. After all, during World War II, the U.S. forced over 100,000 Japanese Americans into government camps for the duration of the conflict, and civil unrest could be considered a domestic emergency. How would this insurrection occur? Theorists cite any number of possible causes, from the establishment of a one-world government to a national pandemic. Some believe a global elite of bankers and aristocrats may artificially create a disaster to trigger a massive incarceration of U.S. citizens who object to the plan, whatever that plan might be. Fringe researcher Mary Louise alleges that FEMA keeps a red list and a blue list, where people on the blue list will be shipped to camps for quarantine or re-education, while those on the red list will be executed. Skeptics rightly point out that this conspiracy requires an amazing, even implausible, level of organization. Also, a large natural disaster can displace hundreds of thousands of people, so building temporary housing in advance seems like a good idea. Yet there's another angle here. The US already holds the world's largest prison population, with over 2 million people incarcerated. Most of the people who believe that FEMA is a cover for a mass imprisonment also believe in the Illuminati, Freemasons, or satanic conspiracies. Sometimes they believe in all three. The outlandish nature of some theories may make them hard to swallow, yet the facts are foreboding even to skeptics. The federal government has indeed constructed massive housing facilities across the United States, from Oakdale, California to Atlanta, Georgia. Executive orders have given FEMA and other agencies increasingly broad emergency powers, even allowing the U.S. Army and Marine Corps to perform domestic operations. Theorists like Dr. John Coleman allege the focus of FEMA has steadily moved away from natural disasters to concentrate on the management of a hypothetically unruly populace. In 2003, FEMA was incorporated into the Department of Homeland Security. To most Americans, this is just another game of bureaucratic musical chairs. However, it makes perfect sense to conspiracy theorists. Before you reject this theory, take a look at the laws surrounding the Constitution, FEMA, Homeland Security, and other related agencies. Pay close attention to Rex 84, the Patriot Act extensions, Operation Garden Plot, and the executive orders that created FEMA. Conspiracy theorists think these documents are only the tip of the iceberg. The rest, for now, is stuff they don't want you to know.
I'm Judge Andrew Napolitano here, defending freedom, defending your natural rights, and defending your right to have a government that stays within the confines of the Constitution.
Barack Obama, what are your thoughts on the Declaration and Constitution?
You know, I think it's a remarkable document. I think
which one?
The original Constitution, as well as the Civil War amendments. But I think it is an imperfect document, and I think it is a document that reflects some deep flaws in American culture.
As a result of our efforts, our two nations are working together more closely across a broader range of critical issues. And our cooperation is delivering results. We demand the full implementation of all relevant UN Security Council resolutions. UN Security Council resolutions need to be fully enforced.
I'm going to be running for president regardless, and I'm going to be continuing to put forth my policies. Obviously, I was proud to be a member of President Obama's cabinet, but I also have ideas where I want to go, not just build on what was done, but go beyond. And I will be laying that out.
Hillary Clinton has described already the meeting in the White House over 2 years ago. Everyone in the national security team recommended arming ISIS. And the president.
So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces.
But President Obama, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, has just announced and authorized that he has told the CIA that it can assassinate American citizens in direct violation of the Constitution's Due Process Clause, in violation of federal law.
Particularly to hear President Obama claim the power to keep people in prison indefinitely with no charges against them, no conviction, no sentence, just imprisonment.
You have a big apparatus that just arrests people on a spot, sometimes kill them, torture them, throw them in jail, no lawyers, no trials. That terrorizes people. You know, people go, you step out of line, they're going to grab me, I'll never be seen again. That's a police state.
the president could order an American killed, and everybody was recoiled at even the thought of it. Now, it doesn't even make the front pages. What about the Constitution? What about life, liberty, and property? What about the very obligations imposed on the government in the document that created the government itself?
It's time the entire country stood up against the NRA.
Because I was in the Philippines, physically, the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and made himself a dictator, and the first thing that dictator did, he gave the people of the Philippines 2 weeks to turn in all their guns or it was the death penalty. Now, why would a dictator do that? Why would he make his #1 priority when he took over as dictator to disarm the public? The Second Amendment is there, and it was put in there not for hunting and fishing like they like to say, because back when they did it, if you didn't hunt or fish, you didn't eat. It was put in there so the citizens would have the ability, if their government became oppressive, they could defend themselves against oppressive government. And I think that overrules all the gun deaths, because let's remember something, a gun is simply a tool. I have a gun safe at home, and I've never come home and heard those guns going off on their own. People kill people. Police can't stop crimes. Police show up after they're over.
Es spricht der Führer.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.